Change is nature, the part that we can influence. And it starts...
Eye of the tiger.
Decide.
Eye of the tiger, come on.
Ultimate mastery comes not of the body, but of the mind.
And who can try with chopstick accomplish anything?
Yes, science! Possess the right thinking.
If I can change,
Only then can one receive.
you can change.
Gives the strength, knowledge, and peace.
I'm your host, Ross Anderson, and this is the Motivational Dude podcast. And on this show, we'll be exploring all the tools and tactics that you can apply to realise your potential, from mindfulness to meditation, psychology, physiology, biology, and much, much more. Let's get to it.
I want to share 5 simple, quick, and immediately implementable tools and concepts that can really help you live a happier, healthier life. The first one is to remind ourselves of the definition of mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is actually a way of thinking. It's a way of being, and that'll become apparent when I explain the definition. So the most commonly understood definition comes from one John Kabat-Zinn. He's a real player, a big founding figure in the field of mindfulness, and his definition goes like so. Paying attention to the present moment non-judgmentally as though your life depends on it. Mindfulness meditation is paying attention to the present moment non-judgmentally as though your life depends on it. Now, that's a bit wordy, and so I've paraphrased that, and this is my own rendition. Laser focus on the present moment as though you're trying to impress yourself. Take that philosophy, that laser focus on the present moment as though you're trying to impress yourself, and wrap that around anything you experience in life or anything you engage in. And you can really focus on it. Remember our target, teleological? Make that your anchor. Take that philosophy and apply it to something, and you can really engage with it and enhance your enjoyment in that experience and in that moment. And remember this as we go through the next 4 tips. So, laser focus in the present moment as though you're trying to impress yourself. Number 2, chewing. Think about your last meal. How many times did you chew that meal? Most probably, you can't give me an accurate answer because we're not mindful when we're consuming our meals. In fact, most meals are actually not fully felt, not fully experienced. Your average person, if you watch, and I encourage you to do a little observational experimentation, watch others and see how many times they chew each mouthful of food. You'll be surprised because generally it's anywhere between 5 to 8 chews, which isn't that much when you consider that our teeth are here for a purpose. And what is their purpose? Well, our teeth are masticating machines. If you've ever done a little bit of juicing, where you juice fresh produce and consume it, there's 2 types of juicers that you can get. One is a rotational juicer, which rotates and breaks down the food. The other is a masticating juicer, and it crushes the food and pulls out the nutrients and all the fibre in the juice. That is what our teeth do. They masticate and pre-digest the food. So if you, like most people, and I'm guilty of it at times myself, particularly before I found out this information, is I'm guilty, and we are guilty of consuming and chewing our food very, very non-mindfully. We chew it 5 to 7, 8 times and we don't pre-digest the food. And what happens? We swallow it and we put a big burden on our stomachs. And when there's a burden on our stomach, if this is continued, this behaviour and these activities, we can end up with dysbiosis of the gut and stomach issues and bloating and digestive problems. And all we have to do to better this situation is chew more mindfully. Gandhi said that aim to chew 30 to 50 times. And this can become pretty difficult. I've tried it myself 50 times, so I tried 20 to 30 times. And actually, it enriches your experience as well as pre-digesting your food. And the more you chew, the more you engage your digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are produced in the mouth, not just in the gut, but in the mouth. And the more you chew, the more you produce. And they are like little worker men going to work on the food that's in your mouth, breaking it down into its individual component parts, the vitamins, the minerals, the amino acids. And the more you chew, the better. You pre-digest that food, the less strain you put on the gut, and actually you savour the moment and you fully feel the meal, and it becomes an enriching experience. So, bear the definition in mind, laser focus in the present moment, try and impress yourself, chew your food 30 to 50 times if you can, and really savour that experience. Tip number 3. DF meals. DF is not dairy-free, even though it's recognised as a universal symbol as meaning dairy-free. DF meals, that means distraction-free meals. Most human beings sit at the table with their family without their devices and their laptops and televisions now only a handful of times, 5 to 6 times a year. Maybe a couple of birthdays, dinners, Christmases, Boxing Day, those sorts of holidays depending on where you live geographically, your race and your culture. But generally it's times of celebration where family come together. And that's great, but it's also unfortunate because it just minimises the power of our experiences, and it actually does more than that. So the next time you go to consume a meal, and I encourage you to try a little experiment and do this just one time in the next week or so, is consume your food distraction-free. You don't need to do the laptop lap dance, when you're engaging with your meal. You don't have to have a TV dinner. Just fully immerse yourself in that moment. Laser focus and try and impress yourself. And what you'll find is that you'll enjoy your meal a lot more. You benefit your digestive processes. And the reason for removing distractions is twofold. One, you really enrich the process of consuming your food with another individual, and it can serve to build your relationship. And secondly, most importantly, removing distractions from that environment allows you to digest your food fully. When we consume our foods when watching television, which is a common occurrence in society, what happens is there's an area of our brain called the mirror neurons. And mirror neurons serve to interpret our environment. They served a very strong evolutionary benefit to us. Whenever there was threat from another tribe or a dangerous creature like a lion in front of us, mirror neurons are there to help us learn and interpret our environment, and then that reads the environment and sends signals to our body to respond in an effective manner. So if there's threat from another tribe or a dangerous animal, it would send signals to our body to enhance adrenaline, enhance cortisol, and get into a state of fight and flight. Now, our bodies can't tell the difference between what's real and imagined. So when you're sitting and you're having your TV dinner, those mirror neurons are interpreting that drama or that scary horror movie as a real thing and sending signals to your body to change the physiological response, to up-level your heart rate, to put yourself into a state of fight or flight, and not, importantly, in a state of rest, digest, and restore. So if you can minimize distractions, don't consume your food while watching dramatic TV, light candles, enjoy the moment, then you're sending signals to your mirror neurons to say, safe environment, I now can fully immerse myself in this experience and fully digest my food and enjoy it. So it serves, focusing on removing distraction benefits you in so many ways. Okay, number 4, become the master analyzer. I love this one. Mindful eating can be a game, it can be a challenge, such as life. Life should just be fun. And if you're British, there's a TV programme called MasterChef. If you're not, I'll explain it. Essentially what they do is they have people cook meals, and then some master chef, if you will come in and fully analyse their meal. They'll taste it. But when they're tasting it, they don't just do what a normal human being does when they consume food. Chew, 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 5 to 7 times, and that's it. What they do is they masterfully engage all their senses. They mindfully engage all their senses. That's what I want you to do the next time you engage in a mindful eating ceremonial ritual, if you will. You want to become the master analyzer. You don't just consume, you consume with all your senses. You don't just chew, you taste. You don't just look, you observe. You don't just taste, you experience. It's all about utilising all those senses in relation to eating and analysing that food. And it just makes everything so much more fun. And lastly, engage all 5 senses. I'll probably drum on about this a lot, but in current culture, what you'll find is that there are 2 of the 5 senses that are prioritised. What are they? Well, we're using them right now to engage. I'm utilising 2 of those, and you're utilising 2 of those to understand me speaking. Your audition, hearing, and your vision. And the other 3 seem to be dropped down in the table of prioritisation, unfortunately. But if you can utilise all 5 of your senses, which you should, one strawberry can become more experientially rich than a whole punnet, which is unbelievable to think about that. So those are a few tips on mindful eating. Ingrain yourself in the definition, laser focus on the present moment, as though you're trying to impress yourself. That is a state of being. Apply that to each and every activity that you engage in. Chew your food more readily, 30 times is an aim, and allow your digestive enzymes to go to work. Create distraction-free moments in your week to enjoy your food, enrich your experience, share that with another individual or many, and again, send signals to your mirror neurons that your environment is safe and you can rest, digest and restore. Become the master analyzer. Analyse your food. Don't just consume, as I said. Consume. Engage all the senses. And lastly, again, engage all the senses. Remember that 2 are prioritised. Vision and audition. You want to bump them all up onto an even keel. They are all of value. And if you utilise them, one strawberry can be just as tasty as a full punnet. So there you are. We went through an entire process with bonus tips and another 10 top ideas. There'll be many that resonate with you. Those are the fundamentals of how to really approach your meditation experience. Take all of them, play with them. Just remember, have that experimenter's ethos. And the experimenter's ethos is this. Throw on your metaphorical white jacket, your goggles, remove emotion for the situation. Think about what's your process, what's your project, what things are going to change, what's your hypothesis, what do you think will happen, what obstacles might present themselves. That's the E. Experiment, then explore, see what findings come up, then extrapolate, pull some things out and see, well, what data did I find out? What did I come to know in that situation? And then use that information to evolve, become a better version of yourself. Remember, we're all about optimizing our minds and bodies so we can realize our potential. Incremental steps. Take some of this information and wisdom, build on it, habit stack, and truly realize your potential.
And that concludes today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this serves you well. And if you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review over in iTunes. By doing so, you really do help me help others optimize. Peace out, much love, and we'll speak soon.